Well, we're joined by head coach of the cross-country skiing team, Scott Jerome. And, Coach, you guys are heading over to Michigan for about 12 days or so to Houghton and Ishpeming. Did I say that correct?
Okay. Ishpeming, you got it.
All right. Well, you got the CCSA first and then the Central Region. So why don't you just talk about both events and just talk about the preparation for each?
Yeah, so the conference championships will be in Houghton, Michigan. Actually, this year we went to a little different schedule where we had a sprint race in Minnesota earlier this year. And so that score combined with the two races in Houghton will be used for the conference championship. So we're going into the championship with a lead because we took first in both the men and the women in the sprint races in Minnesota. So that's good to go in with a lead, but Northern Michigan's very tough. Michigan Tech has good skiers. St. Scholastica has some good skiers. So, we're going to be really challenged, and, Northern is skiing very well in the distance event. So it's going to be tough, but we certainly have the people that can rise up. We just need to be clicking on all cylinders on the right days. And we start off with a 20K and 15K Mass Start Classical, which is a very exciting event, and I know our team is really excited. Eric Soderstrom's skiing well right now in Classic, and he's pretty excited. It's his last year here as a senior, so we got some people excited. And then finally, we end up on Sunday with a relay, which we haven't done in the CCSA in 10 or more years, probably longer, 15, 20 years we haven't done a relay. So the relays are always exciting, head-to-head, mass start, winner takes all, so it's going to be a really exciting and fun weekend. And then in Ishpeming, the following weekend, we have the Central Region Championships, which are the final races in qualifying for the NCAA National Championship. So a lot on the line for our student athletes. We have two automatic, berths in Tyler Cornfield and Logan Hahnemann. They pre-qualified at U.S. Nationals, so they're going to NCAAs. A full team is 6, 3 men and 3 women. So we have 2 in right now, and we'd like to get 4 more. 1 guy and 3 women, and it's going to be tight. I mean, there's not many slots for Central, and it's going to be very, very tight.
Have you guys been doing anything differently, especially with the weather? It's finally warmed up enough so you guys can get out to Birch a little more. I mean,
Yeah, it was tough. When we got back from Minnesota, it was tough with the cold weather. We had to adjust our training. We did a lot of training inside. I mean, we'll ski to 20 below oftentimes, but when it's 30, 40 below, it's just too cold. And we really worry about the safety of the student athletes, and especially with frostbite, and that's a real concern. So, we did some indoor training, and actually it was kind of a good situation because a lot of our athletes needed a break, so it was a forced break. They had to slow down a little bit and do some stuff inside. So that helped us a little bit. Now it's warmed up. We're back outside. We had some good training over the weekend. The skiing is perfect, and we just kind of do the normal stuff as we go into these races. We're not trying to make any major adjustments. We really want to peak in March. So there's no sense in having somebody peak in February and then poop out in March. So we'll train through these races and qualify as many as we can. But we really want people racing fast in March. We've come up short at the national championships last couple of years, and we need to get back into the top slots there.
Last weekend, your team went down to Anchorage to compete in their invitational with some West Region schools, a couple different schools they don't normally get to face throughout the year. So, I mean, was that beneficial for them? Obviously, not really much pay attention to the team score, more of just is it getting back in a rhythm after having the week off after being on that month-long road trip?
Yeah, part of it was getting back in the rhythm, and it was a good training tool. It was warmer in Anchorage. It was a short race for both men and women, only 5K, so it was a really good training tool as far as getting back into the race procedure, getting the body fired up. And, it was really good to see, especially on the men's side, us holding our own against the West. I mean, traditionally the West has dominated NCAAs. We had, 2 guys in the top 10 and 3 in the top 20. So we know that we can be competitive with them at NCAAs. So that was a very good sign. The women's side, Rafaela was, I think, 13th or somewhere in there overall. And, that was a good race for her, certainly not where she can be. But she continues to improve. She's gotten better all this year. She started off pretty slowly, but she's gotten better every race. So we're excited about that. So it's good to bang heads with those Western schools and know what we're in for when we get to March.
What are your expectations of the next couple weekends when y'all hit the trails?
I go in, pretty wide open. I mean, my expectation is that our athletes give their best on the race course, and I mean that through the whole process. I mean, when we get on the airplane tonight, to when we arrive, to how we treat our bodies, to the food we put in our bodies, the hydration, getting sleep, getting up, getting prepared, taking care of our skis, and then on race day, giving our best effort. And that's my expectation. And, you never know who's going to show up to the races. I mean, you could have your best race and be 50th, and, it kind of gets buried in there. So, certainly, we're in it for results, but, we try to take a step back and take a bigger picture look and just do the things that we can control. And as long as we do that, the results will fall into place. And certainly we've banged heads with Northern Michigan all year. They're our main rival. So we want to beat them and have a full team at NCAAs. We want to win the conference. We want to win regionals, and those are the goals. But ultimately, we can only control our preparation and doing our best on race day.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for the time, and safe travels over to Michigan, and good luck next week.
Thank you much. Appreciate it.